Let's take a look at Chapter 2. It discusses web searching. There's a brief discussion of different types of search engines and how they work. I'm not asking you to be responsible for this. It's probably outdated as quick as I say it. A couple of things that are worth knowing here. Wildcards. Have you ever tried to search for a file and you weren't quite sure of the exact file name? Wildcards can be a great help here. So a wildcard, like an asterisk, is a character that can represent any character or characters, or no characters at all. So for example, if you were searching and you put in SING asterisk, then you might likely find things such as sings, one character, singing, more characters, singer, or sing, no characters at all. So all of these can be found with the wildcard asterisk. A question mark is similar, but it represents any single character. So S question mark NG would represent, or could find, sing, sang, song, and sung, and so on. Very useful when searching for files on your hard drives. Let's spend just a minute talking about advanced searches in Google. You can't always find what you want. Go to Google and type in Google Advanced Search. For example, type in hydrogenation. Now, let's search that and see what we get. So here we get hydrogenation is the use of a catalyst to adding hydrogen to an organic compound. We're going to do some of this in class. All right, so let's go back. And this time we'll say this exact word or phrase. Let's use margarine. Let's include margarine in it this time. And now we have hydrogenation of margarine. So we specified our search. Let's go back. What else can we do here? Any of these words? None of these words? We can choose a language if we're so blessed to speak multiple languages. We can choose the region it's coming from, which country, the last time the website was updated, the terms appearing anywhere in the page, title of the page, text of the page, and so on. Format could be any of these different formats. So you can really refine a search here using Google Advanced Search. In the notes on page 5, I present you with a list of search engines, and as soon as I seem to list them, some of them are defunct by the next year, but there's many here you could use besides Google. Take a look at the next page. These are hyperlinks, so let's try hold down the control key and click on www.arnoldit.com. And here's a list of many search engines, and I think some of these are defunct as well. But there are a tremendous number of websites you can use. Have you ever noticed that when you perhaps looked at something on the web, maybe you looked at a cell phone one day, the next day they come back and you turn on the computer and you have 5 advertisements for a cell phone? How does that work? How does it know? Well, Google, among other search engines, tracks everything you view. It tracks how many clicks you make on a given site, how long you took on each page, and all that information is collected and stored, and it's actually sold, in a sense. The use of it is sold to third parties. So a third party can pay Google money to say, look, we'll pay you 1 cent per every 100 views that you get on this particular ad for a cell phone, and then if Google tracks that you looked at a cell phone, guess what? Next day you'll get ads from cell phone companies. So if perhaps you want to use a search engine that does not track your internet activity, you might try something like DuckDuckGo. Let's try that, DuckDuckGo. So DuckDuckGo, privacy protection, take control of your data online, 1 free download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers. So let's take a look at that. So search at duckduckgo.com and avoid being tracked. Want to remain anonymous? Here's a browser called Tor. the onion router. The browser isolates each website you visit so third-party trackers and ads can't follow you. Any cookies automatically clear when you're done browsing. Take a look at Tor. So you would download this and away you go. I'm certainly not advocating nefarious activities. I'm just making you aware. If you don't want Big Brother watching you at some point, this might be something you want to look at, and I'm not any expert on the subject by any means. You know, this might be a great way to do your online banking or access your Canada Revenue Agency account at tax time. You know, the CRA was recently hacked. Over 5,000 people lost private information. I suspect there's no browser or website that's hack-proof, and perhaps not this one either, but it might give you an extra layer of protection. Just something to think about. Page 11, how do we evaluate the objectivity or the validity of web information we read, or even television information for that matter? There certainly are a lot of half-truths, and as you watch different channels on TV and read different websites, you have wildly contrasting opinions. It's pretty difficult to know what to believe and what not to believe. Be wary. Consider who the publisher is, who sponsors the web pages. Websites with file extensions like edu, gov, org are refereed. Just means there's larger bodies. Whether or not they're honest and objective is a different question, but there are larger bodies overseeing these websites. Consider if what you're reading is fact or opinion. Check out the bibliography. Where did the information come from? Check out the currency. Look for objectivity. Very hard to find. I want to finish by talking about how to capture images for your web assignment. So your web assignment requires that you copy and paste an image of the website into your web assignment. A number of ways you could do this, and I have some description here on page 12, but let me just illustrate a few ways. Let's go to a website. Let's say you want to take an image of a particular cell phone. This one's colorful. Sometimes you can simply right-click on the image and save it as a JPEG or some form, or you can simply copy it to a clipboard. I'm going to click on it and copy it. Then if I open Microsoft Word, I'll open a new document. I can simply paste it, Control V, and there's my image. Now sometimes you can't select an object simply by right-clicking on it. Let's go to the St. Clair College website, for example. I'll type in www.stclaircollege.ca, and let's say I want a picture of my friend George here, who I happen to know. I right-click and it's not available. So what do I do here? Well, there's a couple options. One of the most handy tools is certainly this snipping tool. I have a shortcut for it, but if it's not there, you can simply type here in the search and type in SNI. There it is, snipping tool. I understand this is not available on Macs, and I can't imagine not having it, but surely they must have some other application like it. So simply click on it, click on New, and you get this crosshair which you drag around the object that you want an image of. And by doing that, it's saved on the clipboard. You can now go File, Save As, and it saves it as a JPEG file. You could let's say this is my friend George, and I can save it to wherever you want to save it to, desktop, and it's a PNG. Pardon me, it's going to be a PNG file, and there it is done. And you can copy and paste it. I won't save this picture for privacy purposes. Another way you can do this is do just a simple screen capture of the entire page. For example, you could hit the print screen button on the keyboard. Here's an image of my keyboard. In the top right portion I have this print screen button. In days of old, when you hit the print screen button, then it actually printed the current page on a printer. But today, when you hit the print screen button, it does a screen capture, or whatever is on your screen, saves it to the clipboard. So we can do that. So I'm back on the St. Clair College website. I'm going to hit the print screen button. That copies it to the clipboard. go into my Word file, and now I'm going to paste, Control V, and I get the entire screen. Now I just want George and not the whole screen, so if you select the object, see the sizing handles are up, you get this tool called Picture Format. Click on that. Then you can click on the Crop tool, and notice how the handle changes to whatever that looks like. You can drag the handles in and crop your image to just what you want to see. Okay, and click outside, and that's all you see. Now the image is still saved. It's not reduced in size. I know that because as soon as you select it again and go back to Picture Format Crop, you can expand and get the image back. But that's another way you could do it. One final thing here, in the event that you have multiple windows open at the same time and you only want to copy the active window, hold down the Alt key while you hit the Print Screen key, and you'll get only the image of the active window. And that's all we need to say about Chapter 2. There's no further evaluation on it. Simply complete and submit the web assignment for week 3.